and we are dry, a low 60s. Sunny on Saturday and Sunday with highs upper 80s. For the Greenwood area, limited rain here, overnight low mid-60s. Highs for Saturday and Sunday close to 90 degrees. For Pascagoula, showers and thunderstorms likely through the night through Saturday too, with some heavy rainfall, and our Saturday high near 85. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. This is Think Radio.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Friday Night Under the Lights. As far as we know, this is year 34. We don't really have an official record keeper out there, but we think it's year 34. But joining me tonight, George Broadstreet, I'm with you tonight. Russ Robinson is on assignment for week 1, but we have Reed Vance in the studio tonight, and also Chris Saxton is our producer, and Ty Bailey is working the phones. Reed, thanks for joining us.
George, it's good to be back with you. It's glad to be back on this program again. Always a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you have had a long, illustrious broadcast career, and you kind of taken a year off this year and trying to do some different things, and so we're glad to have you in the house.
Well, of those two words, long and illustrious, let's just say I've had a long career. I don't know about illustrious, but it's been good. I was actually driving around some tonight, and then went back home and listened and watched some, and was able to catch lots of games that otherwise I wouldn't normally do that. So,
right.
And taking a break from calling the games this year, that's been a lot of fun already to do that tonight, to be here tonight too.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual. I mean, I had a lot of people today asking me about, are y'all doing Friday Night Under the Lights and starting back again? I said, yeah. But the weather today was kind of unusual, at least here in central Mississippi. It kind of rained last night. It was kind of cool, kind of cloudy. Normally, the first week, it's about 95 degrees and it's miserable. It was almost comfortable tonight.
Yeah, very passable. I know there's probably been some rain down in South Mississippi that has lingered, but here in central Mississippi, we thought the rain was going to linger around, but it really went away around noon today and did not come back. And a couple of really pleasant evenings that we've had here in a row. Yeah.
Well, week 1 is always interesting because we're trying to get back in the swing of things. We'll go 14, 15 weeks of this, week in, week out, every Friday night. And it's always you gotta. It's kind of like the first game. You got some few offsides penalties, some illegal procedures, and those sorts of things. So we're trying to get back into the swing of things. Russ on assignment tonight. He was calling, of course, Jackson Prep, playing Park Lane tonight down in the Macomb area. So he's not going to be with us tonight, but he'll be with us through the course of the year. And you may be filling in from time to time when Russ can't be here. We are always welcome.
Sure, I'll just come on, hang out, and help out Friday night.
You're always welcome.
I'm sure my wife would like me to do that.
Well, you have to be at home sometime.
That's true. It'll be a lot of fun. We're talking about some of the sloppiness. Mm-hmm. The game that I was at tonight to help some of our MC guys get them going and broadcasting the game before any play was run, three motion penalties at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of the way it is, the early part of the season.
Yeah.
They're either so amped up to go or you're a step behind.
Right.
And had a long touchdown that was called back because of an inadvertent whistle in that game. So you get that kind of thing early on.
Well, you can have a scrimmage and you can have a jamboree, but there's nothing like
that's different.
The first game.
Yeah.
So, we've got some scores to talk about during the course of the evening. We got a lot. Run down that list. Just talk about some of the people we've got. We're going to talk to tonight.
Yeah, we've got all-star list really here tonight. Mike Peterson from Hattiesburg is going to join us here in the back part of this half hour. Tri-County's Cliff Barker. Tony Barnett from Jackson Academy, and Greg Flynn is going to call in and tell us a little bit about the Pearl Pirates tonight. We'll have Jake Wimberly and Brandon Davis later on in this hour as well. And then coming up in the next hour, Philip Palmatree and Roy Kelman, beg your pardon, Ed Clinton is going to give us a call. And then Joseph Craven, Hartfield, and a lot of other folks, including our Coach's Corner with John Weaver from MRA in the second hour of our program here tonight.
Okay. Let me give you a couple of scores. I think we've already got a caller that we want to talk to on the air, but give you a couple of scores. This was a game tonight. MRA, they lost their opening game. They bounced back tonight at home, beat Jefferson Davis County 47-6 was the final there. Some scores from Thursday night. Calhoun City shut out Coffeyville 56-0. Jim Hill beat Crystal Springs 26-0. There were a lot of shutouts. Ocean Springs won over Meridian 35-0, and South Jones beat Northeast Jones 20-17. All those games were last night. In games tonight, let's see, Stringer 34, Enterprise Clark 22. Gaucher shut out George County 35-0. Northwest Rankin edged Germantown 24-17. That's a pretty good matchup in week one.
Yeah.
But Northwest Rankin won that game. Forest shut out Lake 37-0. Terry shut out Murrah 47-0. And also same score, Pascagoula shut out Moss Point 47-0. And this Picayune edged Gulfport 31-28. That's some scores from tonight. We'll have the rest of the night to give you some more scores. We're on the air to midnight, so we'll be here for a while. But thanks for joining us on another edition of Friday Night Under the Lights. Chris?
Well, George, what we've got Dr. Dave Shows.
Dr. Dave Shows.
Who takes care of the Funnel website and many other things.
Right, from parts unknown.
Yes, but we want to talk to him so he can tell us
okay.
What's exciting this year. Here's Dave.
All right. Dave, you on the air with us?
Guys.
Hey.
Yeah. How you doing?
Well, good. I haven't seen you in person in a while. We've talked on the air a few times, but thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you. It's interesting because I was, getting back into Mississippi football, and I was looking at a couple of websites, and somebody had come up with a permission slip with a header at the top, Mississippi High School Association, and it was just like a kid's permission slip. It said, please allow such and such to not go to work today because this is the first big week of Mississippi high school football. And if I thought the offer was good in North Carolina, I would have done it too. So,
well, I know you do a lot of different things for Friday Night Under the Lights. Tell us a little bit about what's going on this year.
Well, it's another big year coming up. Like always, of course, we're on Facebook and YouTube, and those have been great venues for us because it allows anybody who hasn't seen the show to be able to go back and see it over the weekend. And I'll tell you the really big thing, of course, the end of the years is we broadcast the All-Star games.
Right.
And the All-Star game, the Miss Al All-Star game is crazy. We've had we had from Facebook and YouTube, we had 75,000 views.
Wow.
Of the Miss Al All-Star game.
That's serious.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the local, like the North-South game got, I think it was 8,000 views, which is incredible just for, a in-state one. But the crazy thing is that the views were from all over the South, from Florida to Texas. So, we're building up to another great year again, and the All-Star games have really taken off.
Yeah. Well, tell us week in, week out, some of the things that you do for Funnel.
Well, I check in on the scores. I try to make sure that the archives are available, try to make sure that I answer any of the questions that people have along the way. Those are kind of the big things. I know that me and Will the Thrill have been working on the power ratings again, and I'm going to think about putting those back on. And Will has his own power rating system that was pretty good. It rates the top ones regardless of what conference you're in, and it's interesting fodder to talk about.
Yeah.
And then, also is proud of the games that we have, coming on to the games of the week, because we're thinking by week 3 or 4 we'll start having sponsoring a Funnel game of the week from Wi-Fi Sports. So, those we're talking about putting those and broadcasting those on the weekend as well. So that's probably where we're going right now this year.
We were going to talk about in this segment a little bit about district changes. Are you familiar with some of the district changes that have been happening this year in high school football?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty profound. I mean, is there 7 districts now in Mississippi? Is that correct?
That's right.
That's right.
Wow,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, with the same number of teams, and yet, that's the competition as it is right now. And 6 and 7 to me, I mean, when I watched them last year, just unbelievable. The talent, the raw talent that they have now, that talent is all over college football right now. I was looking
Right.
there's something like 200, more than that, number of Mississippi high school stars that are spread across the United States playing college. Just great football that we've had the last couple of years.
One of the things I think is always really interesting and kind of Will in doing, his spreadsheet that I use for the scores, one of the things that always impresses me is how many schools in Mississippi there are that play football. And, you hear of the big schools, from the towns of size, but all these little schools in small towns. And that's what really makes it interesting, I think.
The last count I saw was like 562, and that included all MHSAA and MAIS in Mississippi. And the stadiums are anywhere from 200 to 26,000? I can't remember. So there's a lot of good football played in a lot of different districts in Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, it's Friday night under the lights,
Yeah.
You just kind of find the lights and you head toward them, and that's where you can find a ball game. Well, Dave, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate all you do, and we kind of joke around, but you're not next door. You're kind of secluded up there somewhere in the mountains of in North Carolina. But the internet's a marvelous thing for some things, and you can do a lot from a long distance, and we appreciate all that you do.
Well, thanks, guys, and I'm always in love with Mississippi football, so you can count on me being here every week.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, guys, take care.
All right.
We've got a couple more callers. We've got about 3 minutes here or so. Let's talk to Will the Thrill.
Hey, Will. How are you tonight?
Tired. It's been a long day. Been up since 5 a.m., but hey, we do what we got to do.
Yeah, we do what we have to do, and we're on here to midnight, if not longer. But thanks for all the work that you do on this the spreadsheet and keeping up with all the scores. Is there a particular ball game you were calling about tonight?
I am Brookhaven in Lawrence County. I live in Brookhaven. I work for the school system here. They began their season tonight at home, 45-0 over Lawrence County. They're rivals from down Highway 84 East. I'll just give you the nuts and bolts right quick. Defensively, one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen by a high school team in recent years. Offensively, I mean, Brookhaven is just Brookhaven. They're a very balanced attack. They run it some, they throw it some. And I'm going to step out on the limb and say this, and I know some people probably going to get me for this, but don't be surprised if you find Brookhaven in Starkville this year.
Yeah. Now, Brookhaven, let me see. They're 3A, is it? No, 5A. Is that
5A
right?
Region 3. Yeah.
Right. With, oh my gosh, my memory's gone. Natchez, Sumrall, South Jones, North Pike.
Okay.
And I
Laurel.
think I'm missing some. Laurel. Thank you.
Yeah.
They won their region the last several years in a row. Got bounced out of I think it was first or second round of the playoffs last year, and Coach Darren Dorsey picks up his first win as head.
Durr back at quarterback. I remember seeing him 3 years ago when Warren Central played, and I thought, this guy's going to be something. And then, of course, he got hurt, but now he's got his senior year, and I think that there's a lot of reason for excitement over in Pearl.
There is, and they're really trying to feature him a lot more because he's such a hard, tough runner that they're trying to keep the ball in his hands. And right now, he is honestly the best playmaker on the team offensively. And I think they're finding creative ways to keep giving him the football and then try and mix it up a little bit with some of a little bit of Peyton there in the backfield. But, you know, Jack Durr is Pearl will go as far as Jack Durr takes them this year offensively, for sure.
And who do they got next week?
Oh, well, the Pirates will welcome those Warren Central Vikings, over here to Ray Rogers Stadium. So doesn't sound like they're going to be very happy either.
No, they got spanked tonight by Clinton, so they'll be looking to bounce back from that. Hey, Greg, thanks so much for your time.
Two bounce backs next week. We'll see who comes out victorious.
Yes, we will. Greg, thanks so much. Appreciate you taking time to call in tonight.
You got it, bud.
That's Greg Flynn, who covers the Pearl Pirates and, among other things, spent his summer at Trustmark Park in Pearl as the public address voice of the Mississippi Mud Monsters. That's a fantastic job out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was their first inaugural year.
Yes.
And hopefully that went well.
I think they were excited about it, and they may have a chance to finish above 500.
Okay.
That's nice.
Oh.
So we've got Tommy Barnett to talk about JA.
Tommy, welcome to Friday Night Under the Lights. How are you this evening?
Man, I am good. How are y'all?
We're doing just good. Jackson Academy opened up tonight at Oak Forest. We don't have a score on that one, do we, George?
No, I don't.
Tommy, tell us all the details.
Yeah, really sloppy first half, but Jay kind of put things together. Ended up winning 42-6. Almost 400 yards on the ground. Had two backs go over. You had Kingston Mays go over 150 tonight, and a couple scores, and then Eric Beasley, the transfer from Clinton, went over 150 as well. He had four scores tonight. So Jay kind of did what they wanted on the ground, but really solid performance. Oak Forest usually team was pretty good, but Jay really dominated in all aspects of the game tonight.
Sounds like this game being played at Oak Forest, maybe it was a pretty wet track, and that had a lot to do with the style of play tonight for JA.
Actually, it did not rain the first drop tonight.
Okay, well, I stand corrected.
I had some earlier in the afternoon, but it did not rain at all tonight. Just Jay really didn't have to put the ball in the air and opted not to. And actually, the only way Oak Forest scored was we completed a pass and the ball got stripped and then scooped and scored. That was the only way Oak Forest scored. So I think Coach Duggan just decided to leave it on the ground after that.
This is a real reload year for Jackson Academy, and they do have several transfer players that you mentioned, including some former Clinton Arrows as well. You know, sometimes it can take a while for the folks who come into a program to mesh and to make sure everybody's on the same page. And looking at the Raiders tonight, did you see that? Hey, this team is pretty cohesive as a unit already this season.
Yeah, well, the thing that really stuck out tonight to me, guys, was just how really just kind of tend their ears back on defense. Of course, that's kind of Coach Duggan's MO. He's really good at it. On our broadcast, I call them the mad scientists because it just shows you so many different looks. But Jay's looked really good on defense. Offense, usually takes a couple games for everything to get the rhythm. Played 2 quarterbacks tonight with Joseph Walker and Pruitt James, but both played really well. Usually they say when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one, but I don't think that's the case with Jay. I think both young men are really good and could really do big things for this offense.
These Raider fans have waited, is it now 14 years for a state championship? They got to be chomping at the bit looking forward for this season, huh?
Yeah, went 3-peat from 9, 10, and 11, and has played in, I think, 2 state championships since then, but lost both of them. So it's been 14 years since Jay's brought a trophy back on the Sheffield Drive.
Well, it seems like you got your work cut out again for you this season, and we were talking with Cliff Barker at Tri-County a few moments ago. He was telling us about Leak having a really good team this year, and that's who you got next week at home, and that's going to be a tough opponent, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really good. Of course, they played in a 5A state championship game last year against Park Lane. We saw what Park Lane did the prep tonight. The MAIS is just getting better and better, guys. And of course, Leak Academy, got one of the best young quarterbacks in the state in Georgia Wilcox. So, if you like to see a team that slings it around the yard a lot, come to the Brickyard next Friday night.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch. The last couple of years, it's been really kind of 4 teams that you've watched in MAIS. It looks like this year it may be 3 with MRA, Hartfield, and now JA. It's really going to be an interesting to see who emerges from that group of 3.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, Georgia, it's a good point that you make, but the way that they are doing the PowerPoint system this year,
yeah,
which is really from top to bottom, there's a chance that if Jackson Prep, they're so young, if they don't get things corrected, Jackson Prep could actually play down in the Division II pecking order of state championships, and Park Lane could actually move up and be that number 4 of the Big 4 that we usually have.
Yeah. Well, that sounds a little complicated for me, but I'm sure somebody will explain it as the
Very
court.
much so.
All right. Tommy,
right.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right. That is interesting. I mean, I've heard a little bit and I've read a little bit about it, but I've never really kind of gotten into the nuts and bolts of it. But somebody's going to probably have to, explain the construction of that as we go along.
Well, basically you've had the 4 top teams, JA,
Yeah.
Hartfield, MRA, Prep kind of dominated over the years. And so they've given other schools a chance outside that whoever finishes in the top 4 to essentially compete for a Division II and then a Division III state championship as well. It's probably not an apt metaphor, but the way I look at it is a bit like you've got the NCAA tournament, then you've got the NIT.
Oh, okay.
It's if you think about it like that, they may not like me using that descriptor, but that's the way when I first saw it, it came out. So it gives everybody a better chance to win something.
Maybe give some people some hope. Maybe.
Yes.
Is that
sure?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we finished another segment. We've got some time. A lot more time to go, actually. We go till midnight tonight. Somewhere along the way, we're going to squeeze in a few more scores. There's actually some really good games tonight against some really good opponents, and we need to get that in, and we will do that. When we come back, we'll have more callers, hopefully, and we'll have more scores and a lot more conversation as we continue with another edition of Friday Night Under the Lights. Back in
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. Yeah! Smile, you're on cricket.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4. Yeah. Smile, you're on cricket.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones. Whoa! Free phone? That's 5G. And nationwide coverage.
Pretty good deal.
Smile, you're on cricket.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4. Yeah. Smile, you're on cricket.
I was paying too much money in 5G, and then my son suggested that I should try cricket. It was easy to switch.
And we love easy. 4. Yeah. Smile, you're on cricket.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones. Whoa! Free phone? That's 5G. And nationwide coverage.
Pretty good deal.
Smile, you're on cricket.
And welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. George Broadstreet and Reed Vance with you tonight. Before we get to another caller, let me give you a couple of scores. This is a game. This is real Mississippi football. In week 1, West Point at Louisville. And West Point won a defensive game, beating Louisville 9-7. That sounds like a good baseball game.
That's two of the best programs historically in the state of Mississippi.
Absolutely, absolutely. They played as Russ would say, a slobber knocker tonight. Madison Central. We talked about that game a little earlier, but Madison Central beat Pearl tonight, 20-6. Picayune edged Gulfport 31-28. Sebastopol over Puckett 37-16. Pascagoula shut out Moss Point 47-0. It was Leake Central beating Leake County 42-26. It was Gaucher over George County 35-0. Stringer beat Enterprise Clark 34-22, and West Marion beat East Marion 49-22. All right. Who we got, Chris?
Brandon Davis on the phone to talk about Warren Central.
Brandon, good evening, my friend. How are you?
Oh, there he's got him. Here he goes.
How about it, Brandon? How are you doing this evening?
Oh, fantastic. What about you?
I'm doing good, man. I've got to say, I miss seeing you on Friday nights.
Well, it's kind of good to hear your voice. I'll say that. I happen to follow a legend over here, so it's good to talk to you.
Let me tell you, Brandon Davis in his first year is the voice of the Warren Central Vikings, and he knows that program inside and out. And I was listening to you and Bob tonight, Brandon, and you guys do a fantastic job. You would never think you'd never called a game together. I mean, y'all just sounded really, it was a fun listen. So I know that it was a fun listen, but I know it was a tough game tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Vance, it was a tough one. Going into this game, when you look at this Clinton team and you look at everything they lost, of course, John Carr leaving, going to Starkville, and then, the kids transferred out to the MAIS school, and you look at it, and this really, and no disrespect to Hamer Morgan and that program, but it looked like you were going up against a sophomore-laden team, and that's what you were. But you got to give credit to them. talking to some Clinton folks, it's like, all right, that's done and over with. We're going to go out and play football. And I tip my hat to Hamer Morgan, the Clinton staff, Ben Shelton, offensive coordinator, and those kids, more importantly, that played so inspired tonight. And they just punched Warren Central right square in the mouth. And it was 28-6 at halftime. And, Warren Central was straight back into it. But when the dust finally settled, it was 45-13 Clinton tonight. And again, it was done. The damage was done by sophomores and sophomore quarterback, 2 sophomore running backs. I think a junior wide receiver that they had over there tonight. But I just love the play calling, and I love the passion that those kids played with tonight. And you could see the excitement after the game, how they were celebrating that. Their backs have been against the wall in this offseason, but it was a good effort. And you credit their offensive line that was so good. We would hit their backs in the backfield, and that offensive line would somehow or another push them for a 4 or 5 yard gain. So a complete dominating effort tonight for the Arrows over Warren Central.
Well, I know the Vikings are going to be in it all year because they've got Nash Morgan back, and we have seen him mature over the last couple of years. He's really got a chance to be one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Mississippi.
I agree, Dr. Vance. I mean, he's grown up before our eyes. He's made some good decisions. The thing I like the most about him tonight, and one play that stood out to me, it was a fumbled snap, and he rolled out and he threw it out of bounds. Anybody else listening, or that really doesn't know football or follow football, like, oh, he threw it away. Well, what he did is he lived to play another down, and he's growing, and the game is starting to slow down for him. You could see that tonight. This was a tough night. You know how it goes. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, and I mean, a good example, Jonah Hartman, one of the better field goal place kickers in the state, missed an extra point. I looked at Bob, and I said, it's one of those nights. But I like the way Warren Central continued to battle, and Josh Morgan's going to find the best he can out of this team. And Rob Morgan, they had some good play calls tonight. Kids executed in the second half, and they didn't quit. But I tip you cap to Hamer Morgan and Clinton. You got to be impressed with what they were able to put together. And I got to be happy for those kids with all the naysaying they've heard, since the really spring. So I was happy for them.
Brandon, you got Pearl next week, so we're going to wish you good luck in that one, and we look forward to talking with you after the game next Friday night.
Dr. Vance, good talking to you, sir, and we'll be in touch. Thank y'all.
Thank you. That's Brandon Davis, voice of the Warren Central Vikings. Clinton beat them pretty good tonight, and so that's 1-0 for the Arrows, 0-1 for the Vikings, and the Vikings play a tough non-district schedule year in and year out. And I think now we've got on
Jake
the line
Winterberry on the phone to talk about Brandon. Hello, Jake.
Gentlemen, happy Friday. When I hear your guys' voice, I know it's football season. How are you?
It's good to hear it from you, Jake. We have not gotten a Brandon score tonight. Give us the outcome of their game.
Tupelo takes care of Brandon tonight, 36-15, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And I tell you what, that Tupelo team is as good as the Tupelo team we saw in December. They beat this same Brandon club for the 7A state championship. Just a really polished group up front. When you look at the front seven defensively, they are large, they are fast, and you've got to credit Ty Harden and his team. They were without their starting quarterback tonight, so they moved J.J. Hill, very talented Mr. 7A running back, committed to Mississippi State to quarterback, and kind of ran a old school Wildcat offense. And Brandon was able to really kind of go toe to toe with Tupelo for the first half. At the half, Brandon was up 7-2. They had a safety on Brandon. Brandon got a touchdown and just really missed some small duties early. They missed 2 field goals early. They had a muff punt Tupelo had, and then Brandon had an opportunity to fumbled it right back. So, it was kind of a sloppy game the first half, and then the second half really comes down to 4 different series. Brandon fumbled the football up 7-2. Tupelo goes down and scores. There was a muff punt that Brandon had. It came off the foot of a return man. They ended up getting the short field and scored, and then Brandon threw 2 interceptions that got returned for touchdowns. So it's a very, very talented Tupelo team. Brandon's got some injuries. They've got some things they've got to work through, but it's a long season, and they'll head to Madison Central next week and see what they can do. But you got to credit Tupelo. They're gonna do this to a lot of people this year. That's a very good football team.
What was the score again? Give that to me one more time.
36-15.
36-15.
Okay, I got it.
But I'll be honest with you. I like seeing games like that in week one. That's like, what we're going to get tomorrow at the college level. I mean, that's like two of the best teams in the state of Mississippi. And those are the kind of games that get people excited early in the season. And, I think now that you've got Lance Polk in as your head coach at Brandon, what have you seen from Coach Polk, who's got a history of winning in the state of Mississippi, that you think maybe this is the year to get the Bulldogs over the hump?
Well, one of the things he's done definitely is he's this team lacked a little bit of toughness. And of course, they were really good. Just from a kind of a toughness standpoint, you could definitely see they were more physical tonight. They were able to really compete with Tupelo for a half. On the defensive and offensive front, and then of course he's using some guys who both ways. Preston Ashley, Trey McQueen, the Harry Bowles. These are guys that typically play on the defensive side. He's trying to get some production out of them on the offensive side and really maximize his talent. So. The kids are, and I'm sure that he'll have them ready to go and respond next week against Madison Central. This
non-district schedule at Madison Central, and then hosting Clinton, that put up some points tonight on Warren Central, at Clay Chalkville of Alabama, and then you get Starkville at his home. But that's a slog, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's one of those non-region schedules where, you could start 1-4, you could go 0-5. I mean, who knows what that outcome could be. But as we know, this time of year is about getting better, playing quality team. It seems we saw what Laurel a couple of years ago, start out very slow and ended up, getting to the state championship game at 7-5. We've seen other teams, start slow. So there's one thing about it: they will be battle tested after the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, you mentioned I've seen a score, and you may know this, so I want to ask you to be sure. But it looked like Starkville and Oak Grove had a scoring match, and Starkville ended up edging Oak Grove 57-54. Have you heard that one?
I have not. And
okay.
With John Carr, I am not surprised. We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jake, for joining us tonight. We appreciate you calling in. Look forward to talking to you next week.
Absolutely, guys. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's the first hour. That went by pretty quick.
All right, I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to stay there for another hour. It really gets good in the second hour. All right. Well, week one of year 34 continues, and we'll be back in just a moment. We'll have more scores and interviews back in just a moment on Friday Night Under the Lights.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones? What?
Nationwide coverage and lightning fast 5G?
Smile. You're on Cricket.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible, and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Welcome back to another night of Friday Night Under the Lights. George Broadstreet along with Reed Vance. Chris Saxton is our studio producer, and Ty Bailey is working the phones for us. And when we concluded the last hour, I kind of threw in a score there. I believe this is correct. It was back and forth all night long in Starkville, but Starkville edged Oak Grove 57-54. That's a heck of a ball game.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other scores to throw in here. Let's see. We mentioned just a moment ago, Tupelo beat Brandon 36-15. St. Martin outscored Van Cleve 64-21, and Ridgeland beat Mendenhall 21-13. Chris, who do we have on the air?
We have Philip Palmertree is on the phone to talk about Leak Academy. Here's Philip.
All right, Philip, thanks so much for joining us here on Friday Night Under the Lights. How are you doing this evening?
Well, doing great. It's good to be with you and talk about a really exciting football game in Week 1.
Simpson Academy, the opponent tonight. How did it go?
It went back and forth up there in Madden between these two rivals, and Leak scored late with 3 minutes to go and got a 29-26 win against the Cougars, game that was 13-9, Simpson at the half. Leak decided in the third quarter to really get physical and run the ball, and looked like they were getting control of the game. They had a 21-13 lead after 3 quarters, but Simpson came back, scored back-to-back possessions really quick. Leak was left with 3 minutes to go at their own 36, and we said, okay, George Wilcox, outstanding senior quarterback. He's thrown for 7,000 yards plus in his career. Thought, okay, now's the time to put that memorable drive together. Well, it took him only one play, and he throws a little short route to Caden Stovall, and Caden breaks loose from a couple of defenders and takes off to the end zone, and Leak's defense stood up over the last 2-3 minutes, and Leak escapes with a 3-point win.
I don't care what level of football you're playing at, 7,000 passing yards in a career is downright impressive.
It is. He threw for 3,600 last year, 41 touchdowns. He threw for just under 300 tonight. And it was a really interesting, encouraging thing to see with George Wilcox. He's lost his 4 leading receivers off last year's team. 3 graduated, and then the one returning receiver that you feel like the guy you can count on, well, he went down with a knee injury a week ago and had season-ending knee surgery this week. So you didn't know what you had, but I tell you what, these guys who were underclassmen stood up and really played well. These guys, especially Caden Stovall, he had more than 100 yards receiving tonight, probably close to 150 in the end. And then the running back, junior Garrett Adcock, ran for 125 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, Leak made a lot of mistakes, but really showed a lot of resilience, came from behind 3 different times to get the win.
Well, we talked with Cliff Barker at Tri-County earlier in this program, and he was really high on the Leak Academy Rebels this year, and that's going to be a showdown to watch. You'll get them on October 24th at Tri-County. But next week, got a chance to go to JA, and this could be a sneaky good game next Friday night at Jackson Academy between two of the best MAIS schools I think probably out there this season.
Yeah, JA has such a good defense, and they're so well coached. And of course, as everybody knows, they've brought talent from hither and yon, and have got some really big things up, and they're a team that can do a lot of things this year. Leak's a little young out at the edges on the offensive line, and I think League's defense is going to be put to the test as well against their rush game. So it's going to be tough. League's going to need to punch them in the mouth early, I think, and see what will happen. But it should be a really good one at the Brickyard next Friday night. We'll be there for it.
All right, Philip, thanks so much for taking time to call us tonight.
Hey, always great talking to you guys, and look forward to a great season.
All right, we'll see you next Friday night.
So we have some people scheduled, but we have some unscheduled people that
That's
are
all right. We'll
talk
take
now
them.
because I don't have the Whoa. No, but I don't have the scheduled people on, so we're going to have Caleb Hamill, who's going to talk about West Jones and Starkville. Here's Caleb.
Hey, Caleb. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, good to be here. The Starkville night, I wasn't at that game tonight, but I did want to tell you all that, as you mentioned, it was a back-and-forth affair. In fact, Starkville scored on the final play of the game.
Wow.
As the horn sounded to win that one. So that's a fun little note for you on what seemed like a defense is optional type of game.
Yeah. But it was 57-54, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Okay. All right. And the other game you were talking about.
Yeah, so tonight our Jones County game of the week that our station covers featured West Jones taking on Laurel in Soso. And guys, two teams that did not live up to the billing last year, having some early exits. Laurel missing the playoffs for the first time since 2008. And they come through with some young but experienced quarterbacks, and West Jones was able to get off to an early lead, 7-0. They end up finishing off the first half in front 20-3 thanks to a late touchdown after a strip sack. But Laurel comes out. They show a little prowess using their sophomore quarterback, Bryson Bivens. They score a touchdown and miss the extra point. It's 20-9. But, guys, that's when defense just took hold of the rest of the game. We saw 3-and-outs left and right. Not on account of bad offenses, but just really good defense. And I would stack this West Jones front seven up against just about anybody, especially in 6A, as they continue on the season. But 20-9, our final score tonight as West Jones takes down Laurel.
You got 20-9. That's the final.
20-9.
Okay.
That was the final tonight.
Yeah. And that game was at West Jones, correct?
Correct. It's kind of been an annual rivalry, if you will. Even though these two are different classifications, they try to play all the county schools. In fact, West Jones has all three of them to start off the season since they're in 6A and the rest are in 5A.
Okay. All right. Any other games down in that direction of the area that you can tell us about?
Yeah, South Jones took down Northeast Jones in another county rivalry. In fact, it was Thursday night. Don't have the final right off the top of my head, but I do know South Jones scored the go-ahead touchdown with about 1:44 left and held on to win that one over at Northeast Jones. And outside of that, looking forward to our game next week, and our Jones County game of the week is going to take us to the Little Brown Jug game as Hattiesburg comes up to play between the bricks against Laurel.
Okay. A lot of people, and I know a lot of people listen to this show, and many understand when you say about the Laurel Stadium. But tell us a little bit about the Laurel Stadium. It's one of the more historic stadiums in the state.
Yeah, Nash Nunnery's got a great book out there somewhere. I think it's Mississippi Cathedrals, and
right.
This is one of the stadiums that he mentions is one of those palaces that has hosted Mississippi high school football for so long. But it's just one of those few really traditional stadiums. They call it playing between the bricks because of the stadium's facade and the interior.
Yeah,
and it holds a lot of people. It's been around for forever, and very little has changed about it. It's just gotten a couple facelifts as time has gone on. But
right.
It's always fun to play between the bricks when the crowd gets rowdy and everybody fills it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the report and all the information. We'll talk to you hopefully next week.
So
I wanted to say hey to Reed, by the way. Just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
I was going to say, Reed, thanks so much for all your kind words about the State Championship Radio Network crew and for pushing Varsity Voices. We really
that's a great podcast. We'll talk more about that. Y'all have got a great podcast going on. It's a very fun listen.
Thanks so much, Reed. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, George.
All right. Thank you.
So we got Joseph Craven to talk about Hartfield.
All right, Joseph. Thanks you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Hartfield. I have not gotten a final score. That was a pretty good ball game with Columbia.
That was a phenomenal ball game. I'm actually trying to get an ice bath set up for myself to try to recover from calling that game. It was physical. It was fun. It ended up being a 22-21 Columbia victory. So there's your final score there. 1 point Wildcat win Hawks took the first lead of the ball game that the Hawks took was in the fourth quarter. So it was they had to come back, end up taking the lead, go up 21-14. Columbia came back, scored with about 6.5 minutes to go, and got the 2-point conversion. That was the final then, was 22-21. Both teams just went back and forth towards the end. No one else could score. That was the final. It was fun. It was physical. It was two just really athletic and big teams going right at each other, and just some good old-fashioned smash-mouth football.
Well, on the way over here, I was listening to your game, and it was right when Hartfield had scored and I think got a 2-point conversion to go up 19. Was it 19-14, something like? No, there was 21-14, right?
It was 21, yes.
Right.
Columbia had blocked an extra point on Hartfield's second touchdown.
Right.
So 14-13 heading into to that moment.
Okay, so Columbia just sort of rolls the dice when they score a touchdown. They're behind 21-20, so instead of tying it, they go for the win.
Yes, and part of that might be because the first touchdown they scored, the extra point was kicked basically straight into a lineman, and I think they just didn't want to try to run that gamble again.
Okay.
So they actually, they got two different 2-point conversions in the game.
Okay.
They got a 2-point conversion on their second touchdown to go up 14-7. They got do up 14-0 at that point. They got a 2-point conversion on the third touchdown to take the lead and end up winning the ball game. So yeah, gamble, and it paid off well for the Wildcats, who I tell you, they lived up to every bit of their billing.
Now they're a 4A school, but a very strong 4A school. I believe they won the state championship in 4A last year, didn't they?
They won in 21. If I remember correctly, that was state championship. State championship was 21, and I believe a second round exit in the playoffs last year.
That's
right.
My research was correct? That's correct. That's right. Okay. Yep. All right. Thank you. But Hartfield, even though they lost game one, I'm sure that they look forward to a good season, don't you think?
Absolutely. The Hawks are having to replace a lot of key players, a lot of players that are currently in college. At least 3 Division I players graduated last year and are currently suited up. One of them, London Simmons, is expected to actually play for Alabama this weekend. So, that's not easy levels of talent. It's not easy levels of experience to replace, and most of those guys are multi-year starters. So there's a lot of talented kids that just haven't been battle-tested yet, and that's one of the reasons why Hartfield was scheduling teams like Columbia at the start of the year to have a really difficult start of the schedule. Go ahead, take a few licks, take a few hits, get battle-tested, but, all of that will pay off in spades by the end of the regular season, we think.
Yeah.
Well, you'll take a few licks next week. MRA comes to town. That should be a good ball game.
Should be an MRA, much more of a stellar passing attack. Columbia was very power run. They had a couple of guys, and Trey Lewis and Ashton Daniels, that both of them were impossible to tackle. They were fun to watch. And so it's going to be a completely different game plan. But, of course, that's the MRA Hartfield rivalry in recent years has always been electric. It has put together some phenomenal ball games to watch. And even though it's not technically a district game this year because of MAIS reclassification, it is going to mean a whole lot to the players out there because they all know each other. They're all, close with each other, and it always makes for an entertaining ball game. So week 2 for the Hawks is going to be just as interesting, I think.
All right, Joseph, we got to cut you loose, but we look forward to talking to you next week after that big game. Thanks for calling in.
Sounds good.
All right.
Absolutely. Enjoy y'all's weekend.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, we've got a lot more to cover. We've got a lot more callers. We've got a lot more scores to go over. Reed, thanks for being with us. We've had fun. We've got 45 minutes to go.
Time is flying by.
Russ has probably got his feet
flying down the road.
Now. Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, coming up next, we've got a lot more callers to get to, and we've got some scores as well. And we'll continue with week 1 of season 34 of Friday Night Under the Lights in just a few more moments.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
And welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. George Broadstreet and Reed Vance and, Chris Saxton, Ty Bailey, and a whole cast of characters. Russ, we used to say really a cast of thousands, it seems like at times. Let me give you a couple of more scores. Callaway defeated Forest Hill tonight 34-6. It was Greenville beating Gentry 26-6. Northwest Rankin beat Germantown 24-17. That was a good ball game. Greene County 34, East Central 27, and Petal over Hattiesburg 50-28. Chris, who do we have up?
We have Jared Schatz on the phone. Here we go. He's on.
Hey, Jared, thanks for joining us. Which ball game will you give us a report on?
Yeah, hey, George, Dr. Vance, a pleasure to speak with you guys. Just very excited that it's football season. And, doing Germantown, we took one on the chin tonight over on Lakeland Drive. Let me tell you guys, Northwest Rankin comes out victorious. You just said the score there, George, 24-17. I tell you what, a really good football team. They have a lot of size at the wide receiver position, including Deshaun Dillon, who is – I feel like he's been there a decade. I mean, if the kid would move along, he's been a thorn in our side for now 3 years. Just a tremendous kid, 6'4". I mean, you can't miss him when he's out there. And I think they've got another receiver who's around 6'2". So they, really just one of those ball games where they jumped out in front of us. We actually were able to get the lead at halftime tonight, 14-10, and then all we got. Basically in the second half was one score. I mean, their defense was lights out. Their receivers caught everything. They were tremendous tonight. Northwest Rankin, I think, is going to make a lot of noise in District 3 this year.
Well, I know last year, it's been a couple of years ago, Northwest Rankin was down a little bit, but then last year they really sort of come on strong. But Germantown, Germantown has just been building their program 1 year after the next. As the school, continues to get bigger, I look for good things from Germantown through the rest of the season.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the year where, the target was kind of shifting to the Mavericks back. And, they came in, depending on what publication you look at, top 7 or 8 by most publications in 7A football. And, it really was a humbling experience tonight for these kids to come out and lose game 1. But I said on the broadcast, this is probably a blessing in disguise. Their 2 starting running backs are both out. 2 very good seniors. They haven't played. They didn't play in the Jamboree. They've been banged up since a scrimmage early on in fall camp. So we kind of, gave the football to 2 sophomores who don't have the size. I think on 3rd down, that's really where Northwest Rankin pinned their ears back, came after the quarterback. We had a hard time picking up blocking. But you're right, George. I mean, the expectations have shifted to Germantown taking that next step. A lot of people pointed to this year as being that year. And this loss is definitely going to be one that brings them back down to earth. But, hey, this is when you want to get it out of your system, get the mistakes out, try to rewind and regroup and see if you can put a run together. But, it doesn't get any easier. They play Oak Grove next week at home for the home opener at Germantown.
Wow.
Hey, Jared, before we let you go, I want to let people know that the podcast that you and Breck Riley up at Kosciuszko and Jake Wimberly at Brandon Davis at Warren Central, the podcast you guys have put together for the State Championships Radio Network is Varsity Voices. It's wherever fine podcasts are found is where you can find Varsity Voices. And it's a really entertaining listen. I had a chance to listen to some of the ones, I can't remember if it was the first episode or the second episode, but it's where you all were breaking down the top all-time public school football programs in the state of Mississippi. And, I mean, you guys use math and everything to do this. It was quite impressive.
It's scary, isn't it, Dr. Vance? For those listening, and I'm going to give Dr. Vance all the credit in the world, I was one of his students. I was in communication for a reason. I was not in a lot of math classes.
Yeah, we don't do math in our department.
No. Math was on the other side of campus for the most part. But, look, I'll say this. I learned from one of the best in Dr. Vance on how to put on a good production. And for any, I'll say this. I'm not just saying this. It is truthful. If you have any young kids that are about to go through college, Mississippi College, Dr. Vance, I could recommend them. But I appreciate the kind words, man. It's one of those where we had a lot of people reach out, and Caleb Hamill's a big part of it too. He just called in. I want to make sure I give you Caleb. He is outstanding along with Jake and Breck and Brandon. And we're all buddies. We talk ball. We have a group text and whatnot. And we had people reach out and say, look, we love the state championship coverage. Can you give us some more content? So this is kind of what we came up with. And we are going to have an episode every week. We'll record our first in-season episode on Sunday night. It will drop probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And we're going to crown a player of the week somewhere in the state of Mississippi. We're going to send them a swag bag, if you will, a T-shirt. But, no, we're excited about it. It's going to be instant reaction every week. We'll pick some ball games. We're going to have a celebrity guest picker from somewhere in the state of Mississippi. So you got to stay tuned to that to see exactly who we pick. And it's a lot of fun, guys. We're going to have a lot of guests on there. And we're just talking football. We love Mississippi high school football like the rest of Mississippi. And we think it's going to be a lot of fun. And look, we need the fans, the coaches, the players, everybody that loves this great game. We really need them to push this. If you have a play of the week, or whether it be a player sending a play of the week or a call of the week on the radio or stream, we want to see it. Anything that makes it great, concession stand food, whatever that makes it, high school football in this state special, we want to see it. And I appreciate you guys checking it out. We really do. We want to build off of this, and you guys are going to make it happen.
You ranked all 220 teams in the state of Mississippi. I'll spoiler alert: Louisville. I don't know, I do that every time. Louisville, Starkville, West Point, South Panola, Tartersville, 1 through 5. So no, we can't argue about this ever again because you've done it via math as to who's the greatest.
Exactly.
Okay. Varsity Voices podcast. Check it out. Hey, thanks so much for taking time to join us here tonight, Jared.
Absolutely, Dr. Vance. George, I appreciate you guys. Just to let everybody know, it is official because we don't do a lot of math. So for us to do that kind of math, that is official. You can't argue with it.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right. You too.
We got about 5 minutes left, guys. We've got Granny to talk about Stringer versus Enterprise and Harold to talk about Pedal, but we're going to have to give each one of them about 2 minutes each, and we'll get them. But here is Granny, Stringer versus Enterprise.
Hey, Granny. Not many people have Granny to join them. But tell us about the ball game you went to tonight.
Oh, man, it was great. I mean, it surprised me. And, and Russ Robinson told me it was going to be a great game, and it was. Stringer won at 34-22. They just kept trading touchdowns. Stringer would get ahead, Enterprise would score, get ahead, Stringer score, get ahead, and then Enterprise would get ahead. But we wound up finding some space between them. 34-22 was the final. And Stringer, they had a kid, his name's Campbell. I think Secure Campbell was his name. He scored 5 touchdowns in this game.
Wow. I mean, so he scored every one of Stringer's touchdowns.
Every one of them. I mean, Stringer had over 200 yards rushing in the ball game.
Yeah, now, Stringer's just a 1A school, right?
Yeah, they're just a 1A school, but, I really think this is going to be an opportunity for them to make some noise.
Yeah, okay. Well, you always pick a ball game to go to. Do you have one picked out for next week?
I'm probably going to go watch Bay Springs and Taylorville next week.
Okay, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, Bay Springs won tonight in overtime over South Pike, 20-14.
Okay, all right. All right, Granny, we got to run, but thank you so much for joining us, and call in next week, okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Reed, I know who you are now. I saw you on Channel 12 the other day, so I know who you are now. So.
All right.
But,
yeah.
Hey, Friday night, fun again at Stringer.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Granny.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
All right. Okay.
Here's Harold. Talk about Pedal.
Hey, Harold. Looks like Pedal got off to a good start tonight.
Guys, we got off to a fantastic start. This was a great ball game. I got to give a quick shout out to my superintendent staff, Dr. Dillon, Robert Knight, and all the fans. We had a fantastic crowd there. Hattiesburg had their people there, and like Mike had said, Hattiesburg opened up with a 7-0 lead, and then we just started getting better, and then Pedal had a couple of good kickoff attempts that were they were picking them off, and it was it was just fantastic. And like we said, 50-28, good going. We got Ocean Springs next week in Ocean Springs, and I know they are probably a good Ocean Springs team. So we'll see. It's going to be really, really good to see what's going to happen next Friday night.
All right. Well, Harold, thank you so much for that report. We look forward to Pedal having a strong season, and you calling in each week and giving us reports on the Pedal Panthers. Thank you so much.
And Dr. Vance, I've heard you before, but I wish I would have had you in school when I was in school. You sound like you're a great person, but I mean, hey, y'all do a fantastic job. And George,
yes, sir.
Please tell my man Russ
Yeah.
that I missed him tonight, and I hope I get to hear him next week.
Yeah. Well, Russ does this sort of thing. He always finds a couple of opportunities to take a week off. Most people done their job don't take a week off in the first week, but that's just Russ. But anyway. All right. Thanks, Harold.
I didn't say that you did, Russ.
I know. I said that. That's right. Well, I can get away with it.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot. Let me throw in a talk to you later. Okay. Thanks. Let me give you a couple more scores as we kind of go into the next break. Forest shut out Lake tonight, 37-0. West Jones over Laurel, 20-9. Brookhaven with a 45-0 win over Lawrence County. And let's see. Mentioned this one before. This is probably one of the best games of the night. Starkville edging Oak Grove 57-54 at the buzzer. Madison Central beat Pearl 20-6, and Picayune beat Gulfport 31-28. All right, the music's heading into our last half hour of the night. We'll have more scores, and we'll have some more callers, and we'll just continue to wrap up the evening. It's week 1 of season 34 of Friday Night Under the Lights continues. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
People who come to cricket stay with cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with cricket, my bill is consistent.
Wait, this is huge! A new offer, 5G for 15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at $15 a month. Smile, you're on cricket.
1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
People who come to cricket stay with cricket.
I volunteer at a bunny rescue, and with cricket, my bill is consistent.
Wait, this is huge! A new offer, 5G for 15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at $15 a month. Smile, you're on cricket.
And welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. George Broadstreet and Reed Vance. I know you as Reed Vance. That everybody's talking about Dr. Reed, and I know you have a PhD, but I know you as Reed.
Yeah, I've been called worse. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I know you as Reed because we've known each other for a very long time.
We've been on the road a lot together back in the day.
Yes, we have. So that's just the way we're familiar with one another.
You can call me whatever you'd like to call me, George.
Okay. A couple of more scores. Tupelo beat Brandon 36-15 tonight. And Florence beat Richland 44-27. And Salem beat McLaurin 36-20. All right, we're moving into the coach's corner.
And we've got Coach Devin Cooper from Northwest Rankin on the phone. So here we go, Coach.
Coach Cooper on our Coach's Corner, brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, man, we're doing great. Doing good.
I bet you are after the win that you got tonight. Tell us a little bit about the victory over Germantown.
Man, what a just a big battle, man. I tell you, Germantown they have a really good-looking bunch. Coach Russell has done an amazing job with that group, getting them to where they are. And he had a couple kids that didn't go tonight for them that played. Couple of running backs that are seniors that have been a little banged up, so that I think that played a little in our favor. And but man, what a battle, man! It went down to the wire. They had the ball at the end. We had to hold them out. And that's just it's kind of game we expected.
That Germantown team handled you pretty well last season. So what was the difference this year?
4 quarters. We preached to our guys that we felt like, last year when we played them, and it was a lesson we learned with that group last year that we only played a 3/4 of a ball game, and they outplayed us last year. So we tried to make it a big time mental thing to us. Let's make sure we play 4 quarters. And I told them we're not getting too hung up and trying to be perfect. Let's just make sure we play with a lot of effort and a great attitude for 4 full quarters of football, and that was the main focus we took into it.
I got a couple of road games coming up next at Clinton and at Wayne County. Those will be tough ones. Then Madison Central at home. Who are going to be some of the guys that fans, if they may get a chance to watch Northwest Rankin or come out and see the Cougars play, who are the guys that they need to be watching out for?
Man, I tell you, we got some kids, man. We're really blessed. We have a really good group of young men this year. It's just there's guys all over the field. To highlight some, I think you start in the backfield. You got Gavin Phillipson that played quarterback tonight for us. There's another quarterback that can play as well as Jed White. But you got Jeremy Hayden. He's our running back. He's a senior. Man, he looks really good. You got receiver. A lot of people know about Deshaun Dillon. He's a junior. That's a big recruit for the 27 class. You got Marco Stapleton as a receiver. You got Noah Williams, senior slot receiver for us. I think tonight Noah and Deshaun both, I think they recorded 9 receptions each. I think Germany went for 139 on the ground, and I think offenses total went up for over 400 yards. From what they were telling me. And then, we got our offensive lines, a returning offensive line from last year. They took their bumps and bruises, and a lot of people poked at them last year because they thought they wasn't very good, but they were just young, and they're all back. And we had an addition come into us that plays center. It's Jaden Ransom, and he's doing a really good job. Ryland Williams is a big tackle. Mason Mapp's another big tackle we got. And, those guys are doing really good. The defensive side of the ball, you got some really good DBs that are returning with experience with Brendan Williams, Mikhail Smith, Justin Robinson. Got a young stud back there that we like a lot, Xavier Dotson. And, we got in the trenches, Machias Silva is doing really good at defensive end for us. And, man, just a lot of guys, man. We have a good group. We got a group we're proud of. We're not the biggest group. That's going to be a big challenge for us as we get down the stretch of these big games. But we just have to, play hard and execute well. But that's what they're doing.
We're in the Cricket Wireless Coaches Corner with Devin Cooper. The Northwest Rankin Cougars got a big win over Germantown tonight. It looks like, Coach, that you take the scheduling philosophy of a lot of folks, a lot of coaches around the state of Mississippi in playing very good non-district opponents because, again, we talked about Clinton, Wayne County, Madison Central, Brookhaven, and then Brandon, which is a district game there for you. But there's just really there's an open date on your schedule, but there's no open dates when you're actually playing a game.
No, that's right. I think if you look at a lot of our schedules in the 7A, a lot of people leave that week open. I mean, a lot of us need it. I know we do. Like I said, we're not the biggest bunch, so we kind of need that week to lick the wounds, freshen up, and get ready for a stretch that comes after it. But we love it, man. That's what we do. These kids love it, and there's no other way to get what you get other than playing 7A football in the state of Mississippi. You can't get it anywhere else. It's every Friday night. There's no other level or league comparable in Mississippi to it, and that's what we absolutely love about it. Our kids thrive in that, and we're looking forward to another really good challenge to get ready next week. It's the exciting thing about playing 7A football. You get it every week.
It'll be Clinton next week at Clinton, a game that you won by 1 point last year, a memorable game if I remember correctly. So, Coach Cooper, we appreciate your time here tonight, and we wish you best of luck next week against the Arrows.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate what you do.
You bet.
Now, we need to get John Weaver on.
Okay.
Because we're keeping him up.
Okay. Yes, we are.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
Because your co-host tried to give up at 11 o'clock and head to bed. We didn't allow him to do that. But here is John Weaver.
Hey, John.
Guys.
How you doing tonight, John?
Oh, first year not coaching football in 20 years.
This is like me, first year not calling football in 20 years.
Yeah, it's just a little different.
Interesting, isn't it?
It is. People ask me how am I doing. I was like, well, I'm too busy during the game to even worry about that I'm coaching.
Yeah. Are you giving us a report on MRA?
Yeah, I was going to give you one. Russ reached out to me earlier today. And,
okay.
So I got some halftime stats for you. Going into the half, MRA was up 33-0 on Jeff Davis. We had 64 yards rushing to their 84. Tail of the tape, though, we had 229 passing at the half to their 12. If you know anything about Jeff Davis or Wing T, 3 for 3 on third downs at the half and 11 first downs for us. We finished, we won the game 47-6. Samuel Stockett, our quarterback, goes 9 of 15 for 292 and 2 touchdowns. Case Thomas had 4 grabs for 94 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Jenkins had a rushing touchdown. Colson Kane had a rushing touchdown. Will Bezot had a receiving touchdown. Good bounce back from the Ravenwood game. When we were up 17-3 at half, kind of let that one slip away, lose 28-24 to a very good Ravenwood team out of Tennessee, who's now number 6 in the state of Tennessee in 7A. So it's good bounce back to come back 1-1. Then you look down the murder's row of Herbert Davis, head football coach of MRA, his football scheduling, Ravenwood, then you have Jeff Davis, then you have Hartfield.
Yeah.
Staring down the barrel next week.
Now, that game next week, where is that game?
It's going to be in Flowood at Hartfield.
Oh, at Hartfield. Okay. So, I mean, this will be this will be a great early test, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, it's anytime you're playing JA, Jackson Prep, Hartfield, you're going to get their best. It's cliche. You can't say SEC West anymore. It's just old school, big time football early in the season. So it's like LSU, Clemson. You got Ohio State and Texas tomorrow. Yeah. I know I'm comparing us to college, which I'm not, but it's that caliber early in the season, and it's a good measuring stick to see where you are. And with this team being on the outside looking in, it's going to be a great test. I think Ravenwood was a great test, big atmosphere, opening up the season, kind of find out who you are a little bit, then you bounce back and play a Jeff Davis team, and you clock them and get the clock rolling in the second half. And then you kind of go into your first road game, which road means just across the pond on the reservoir. But just kind of see where you are. And it's kind of weird. It's not a district game, but it's a metro game if you get there.
Yeah. I mean, how does this MRA team compare to maybe last year? Is this you think this team is better, or is it just too early to tell?
Twofold here. You got a lot of guys coming back, so experience is huge. So I think you're better in the experience aspect. Defense, to me, always goes and gets things going a little bit faster than the offense does. If you saw college football this past Thursday night, a lot of teams start slow, unless you're Missouri. You start off real fast. But, the defense, what I saw tonight with the wing T team and Jeff Davis and what they do really well with Lance Mancuso, and, I mean, that's a well-oiled machine. Our defense is really fast laterally, which is key in this league of being speed-oriented. And I think it's going to take the time for the offense to get kind of going back again in the motion. You got the same quarterback, you got the same group of receivers, you got the same running backs. Offensive line only had 2 you had to replace, but when you put up 47 tonight, and then you score 24 the week before in a kind of one of those slow games. But compared to last year, I think defense is ahead of the curve just from the sense of experience and being able to play fast. Offense, there's a few wrinkles in there that they're still trying to iron out from the summer. But just like any Herbert Davis offense, once it gets clicking, everybody heard of the Oak Grove score last year, and we're like, what the heck just happened? Once it gets clicking, it's hard to stop.
Yeah. Well, John, we're going to let you go to bed now, but we really appreciate you giving us the update on MRA tonight.
Anytime Russ hollers at me during the day and he's like, hey, I got you scheduled in 11:40, I was like, man, I got to be in Memphis tomorrow for a cross-country meet at the Memphis Twilight. I got to go to bed. But I really appreciate y'all jumping on. Let me get in real quick.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for what y'all do for high school football in Mississippi.
All right, John. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we're closing in on the final 15-minute segment. It's gone by pretty quick, Reed.
Yes, it seems that way.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping you up, but I mean, we just keep pressing forward. We talked about MRA and Hartfield. That'd be a great matchup next week. Hartfield's going to be hungry for a win, but MRA too.
Yeah, MRA lost by 3 there last year, so that'll be a big matchup next week down on Lakeland Drive.
All right. Back with the final segment of Friday Night Under the Lights in just a moment. More football in just a moment.
Cricket has free Samsung Galaxy phones? What?
Nationwide coverage and lightning fast 5G?
Smile. You're on Cricket.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Big job, just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. Big boss man, don't you help me when I call.
It's all working songs on a special edition of 10,000
See your
Good
name
Songs
and
right
file
here at
your
Radio.
claim. Even the smallest
Monday
counties
morning
in
at 11
Mississippi
a.m.
usually
on
have
MPB
thousands
Think
of
Radio.
people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi
Humor,
State Treasury.
stories, news,
That's right.
music.
Many
Our
counties
weekend
even
lineup
have
has it all.
tens of thousands of
Tune in
names
to enjoy the relaxed sound of the
totaling
weekends
tens of
on
millions in
MPB Think
unclaimed
Radio.
dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million.
Donate your car,
to
motorcycle,
Mississippians
boat,
who
or
searched the
RV
list,
by going to
found their name, and staked their claim.
mpbonline.org.
About
This
1
is
in 10
MPB Think
Mississippians
Radio.
have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
And welcome back. Final 15 minutes of Friday Night Under the Lights, Week 1. And Reed, it is somewhat of a tradition. Russ started this a long time ago that we normally finish our last segment with Brandon Shields, who's kind of an expert in high school football for the state of Mississippi. And Brandon is with us. Brandon, thank you for being with us tonight. Which ball game did you cover?
I was at Tupelo Brandon tonight.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it lived up to expectations. Tupelo wins the game 36-15. Brandon, had control for most of the game because Tupelo just kept turned the ball over, had basically 3 first-half turnovers, fumbled a snap on a punt that the punter just fell on, and then had 2 fumbled snaps. That Brandon could only convert 1 into points, scored a touchdown, then missed 2 field goals. So, but Tupelo's defense, it's just like last year. They're big, they're fast, they're athletic as all get out, and they held Brandon in check in the passing game. Tyson Robertson for Brandon had 142 yards rushing in the touchdown. But the difference in the game was Tupelo's defense, 2 defensive touchdowns, and in the third quarter they scored 27 unanswered points coming out of halftime. The back-to-back pick sixes on back-to-back drives to give them a 29-7 lead going to the fourth quarter. Kylan Bobo, the backup running back, Tupelo had J.J. Hill playing quarterback because of some circumstances at the quarterback position. So J.J. was quarterback, and his backup had heck of a night. Kylan Bobo had 19 carries, 198 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So that was that. Tupelo, big win, statement win on the road, the circumstances they were in. They get to, now they have to, they go to Christ Presbyterian Academy in Nashville.
Okay.
Next week, Brandon gets Madison, so another big one for them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I know following this, Tupelo's had some really good seasons in the last 4 or 5 years, and it seemed like last year they finally kind of put it together, but they've got a lot of talent, and it just seems like, I don't know, there's kind of the power shifts from place to place, and obviously in 7A, it seems like Tupelo's just got a lot of talent right now.
Oh, they got a lot of talent. Sophomore class is extremely talented. The 2 guys that had the pick sixes were touchdowns were sophomores, Trace Wilson and Tyson Hunter. 2 linebackers had the pick sixes. They're both sophomores. Kylan Bobo's a junior, the running back that had a big game. Yeah, they're talented, especially on defensive side of the football. I mean, they have a chance to be another really, really good team. But we have them ranked number 1 for a reason, and they showed it in the second half for sure. And Brandon's number 2. They're going to be fine. I mean, just too many mistakes, and obviously the turnover is a big difference in the game. So they'll be fine. They'll bounce back. I mean, it's just week 1. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, when you look at who else is in their district, they've got 2 newcomers to the district, Horn Lake and DeSoto Central, both of whom moved up, and the others, South Haven, Hernando, and Lewisburg. Tupelo handled all of those pretty handily last year, and there's, I guess, a real possibility that this team that went undefeated last year, if they stay healthy and get some breaks, this is a team that very well could do it again. It's you don't want to predict anything at this point of the season. Of course, it's just week 1, but if you take a look at their schedule and you take a look at the talent, and you think, wow, they're going to be favored in every ball game, and they'll have some tough ones, but they got a real chance to have a really special season.
Well, yeah, but also Tupelo moved from Region 2 7A to Region 1.
That's right. Yes.
So. But in that district stayed the same. Just they just flipped Tupelo and Oxford. They put Oxford Region 2, Tupelo Region 1. That's all they did. So, but yeah, they have a chance to be really, really good. I mean, me and Todd talked in the summer. I mean, we talked several times. They're going to be a really good football team if they can stay healthy, and I tell them, just keep doing what you do. You'll be fine, and you just roll with it. And so far, hey, it's 1-0. You want to be 1-0 every week, and they were 1-0 tonight. So that was that.
Well, Brandon, I want to make sure before we let you go that we let you know, and Chris and everybody who works on the Gridiron Magazine, what an outstanding job you do.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've known Chris for a long time. I know the work he's put into it over the years, and you've joined him in doing that. Yeah. And it is, I know it's a labor of love, but it's labor. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of phone calls, a lot of digging up information, but it is outstanding publication. You guys done a good job on that again this year.
Yeah, did a little different this year, without printing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot of people have been asking me about that, but hey, keep doing it. It did well. We'll keep doing it. So, well,
it's an outstanding, no matter whether it's print or digital, it's an outstanding publication. You guys should be proud of it. It's something that was long needed in our state, and I'm glad that you guys are doing it well.
Yeah, appreciate it. All
right, Brandon. Let me ask you before we let you go. This is week 1, but were there other games that sort of caught your attention? I mean, you thought were good games or impressive wins?
The Starville over Oak Grove.
Yeah.
57-54. I just got the stats. I mean, Kingston Johnson, the quarterback, transferred out of Louisiana. Holy moly. I mean, he had 486 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 92 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Torrey Knox, running back, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then on Oak Grove side, Kellen Hall passed for 446 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, and, some upsets too, had 2 teams in our top 10 lose. Germantown, our number 9 ranked team, lost to Northwest Rankin tonight, and then DeSoto Central beating South Panola 42-39.
Okay.
So yeah, those are 2 big wins for them. So rankings are shaking up already. So got to go back and regroup and play catch up tomorrow and see what happened and roll from there.
Yeah. All right. Next week. You're always good about picking out a good game to go to. Which game do you think you may cover next week?
I already know what game I'm covering next week. I'll be at Germantown, Oak Grove.
Okay.
2 teams coming off losses, so
yeah.
Get to see how those teams respond after losing on the road. So see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate always your comments and expertise, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, looking at the clock, we're closing in on the top of the
witching hour.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us tonight, Reed.
Well, it's been a lot of fun.
I mean,
sure I'll be back one point.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. We mentioned the Johnny Carson reference several times, and Russ will find a way to star in the show and then take his deserved time off. So, he's actually working.
No, he's been on the road a lot. I don't see how he does it, to be honest with you.
I don't see how he's done it for all these years, for that matter. And last year he played hurt. Didn't he fall through the bleachers somewhere? Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So
I got to hear this.
Talking about
you can't just leave that story at the end of the show and not tell
I don't know the whole
it.
story. I just know that he.
Well, he was just being Russ and coming up through the bleachers and kind of fell through the bleachers and had to end up having rotator cuff surgery, didn't he?
And when you go through that rehab, it was.
Well,
he was not a happy camper.
Not a happy camper, but he's better now.
I'm with him every day, so he was not as much fun.
I understand.
As the normal Russ.
All right. Well, Ty Bailey did our phones tonight. Chris Saxon, as always, our producer extraordinary. Dr. Reed Vance, our guest host, and George Broadstreet filling in for the beloved Russ Robinson, who will be back with us next week. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Week 1 of season 34, Friday Night Under the Lights. We got a lot more weeks to go. Join us each Friday night for high school football in the state of Mississippi. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Or favorite programs.
1 in 10 Mississippians have
the radio
unclaimed
reading
money
service of
awaiting
Mississippi
claim at the
provides
state treasury.
print-impaired
There's literally
Mississippians with
hundreds of
news,
millions of
information,
dollars
and
waiting to be
entertainment.
united
To
with
learn
the
more
rightful
or to see
owner.
if you qualify,
At
call 601-432-6301.
To search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following
This
these
forecast
instructions.
is underwritten
You'll
by
be
Blue
asked
Cross
for some
and Blue
basic
Shield
ID,
of
like a
Mississippi
copy of your
and the
license
My
or a
Blue mobile
government-issued
app for
ID.
people on the
Then
go.
hit send.
More at
Treasurer David McRae has a
BCBSMS.com.
dedicated unclaimed money
We are
team
gearing up for the big holiday
awaiting your
weekend here in the
claim,
state of
ready to
Mississippi, and
return
so plenty of
your
wet weather,
money.
especially
Don't
closer
wait.
to the Gulf
Look
Coast.
for your name
Rain
and
and
stake
storms
your
and heavy.
claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look, emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.